Hey treasure hunters, welcome back to Gem State Treasure Hunters. Another beautiful spring day brings another treasure hunting adventure down here in southern Idaho.
Finally able to get out again. It's been a bit because we've been without a vehicle because it's in the shop right now. And my dad was nice enough to lend us his truck till we get ours out of the shop. So we're out here on this nice, warm, hot day, and we're gonna find some gold today, hopefully. We're gonna also look for some petrified wood and some desert rose quartz. So stay tuned and we'll get started.
So we made it about maybe 20 feet from the truck and ran across this here. This is a piece of basalt lava rock, and you can see in the pores it's filled in with opal. Light doesn't really do it justice. You can't see it. Hard to see the colors when it's in its host like that, but that is what that is. Not very big pieces, but cool specimen piece anyway. And then right next to it, we found a little chunk of agate. So, yeah, that's a good sign. I think it might be a good day, at least for rock hounding.
Oh yeah, we'll get lots of rocks today.
Alright, so I'm just going to be walking along the creek bank looking for anything that's interesting. I'm going to look for more of that basalt lava rock because I found that piece with the opal in it. It'd be nice to find one that's got some bigger specimens. Let's see. That's some really interesting rocks like this. I kind of like Chinese writing stone because this stuff actually goes all the way through it. Let me see if I can find a better piece. I just saw one. There they are. So like these, they're cut. They've got patterns in them caused by these crystals that go through them. And it makes interesting patterns. I look for some more of that today too. I just thought this was kind of interesting. Frog eggs. I gently put that back. This water is surprisingly warm actually. It's kind of nice because it's going so slow and it's been so nice and warm out here. I found another piece of this basalt. You can see it's got like a tiny little, see if I can find it. There. A tiny little piece of opal sticking out of it. And then it's got these sockets where stuff is worn out of it. So I'm going to keep that one and break it and see if it's got any bigger pieces of opal in it. Alright, so now I went back to the truck and got hydrated again, and I'm now going to go wander around up here in this washed out area because historically I have found a lot of petrified wood in areas just like that. So let's go. I ended up way higher up here than I expected to be. That's okay. I see Cody way down there. You see him? I squish him. I will squish you. Squish, 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 squish. There's Cody. Squish. Squish, squish, squish. Alright guys, I'm headed back down the hill. I didn't find anything remarkable up here, but I think that's just kind of the nature of rock hounding. and prospecting, it's a whole lot more looking than it is finding. Hey, look what I found, guys. It's a lucky tree. Why is it a lucky tree, you ask? Well, all trees in the desert are lucky trees. One, it's lucky to be here. It's lucky to be able to survive in this environment. And for two, you're lucky if you found one because it's a nice break from the sun where there's very little else. As you can see, it's the only tree visible for miles and miles. I don't know what it's from, but I found this decent sized paw print here. It's like better part of the size of my hand. I don't know what they're from. If you have any idea, let me know. They're gonna be either cougar or coyote, it would be my best guess, unless somebody was walking out here with their dog. If you know what that is, leave a comment below.
Hey, baby girl.
Hello.
What you got there?
Some rocks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What kind of rocks?
Nothing too spectacular. I'll show you when we get back to the truck. Hey, look at all the garnet. That's after being panned off. It'll like completely red.
This pan doesn't have as much in it as the previous pans. So there it is. Alright, pan her back and do the reveal. He's little, but a decent little flake there.
It's not bad. It's so shiny. Oh, it's so, hey. Oh, there it is. Oh, look at it. It's so shiny.
Nice little line of gold there.
Yeah.
We'll suck it up and then we'll dump out the snuffer bottle so you guys can see everything.
So Cody just dug another pan out of this gravel bar here. It's got a lot of fine gravel. It's got a lot of broken up quartz and stuff in it, so that's promising.
Yep, we're going to do this pan here. Get it classified down. And then we're going to move and go find some petrified wood. After I pan this down, I'm going to empty out my snuffer bottle and show you guys what we end up with. Some real pretty stones in here.
Alright. Stop with the distractions. I'm trying to be a cameraman.
heavy. So, I just emptied out my snuffer bottle. Give me just a second to pour the water off a bit. Tap it all up in a line. That's what we ended up with for the day. Probably not enough there to weigh, but we'll get it dried out at home and we'll throw it on the scale anyway. See what we ended up with.
Alright, well, we are now done at that spot and we are headed to our other spot where I find a lot of petrified wood and gypsum crystals, so that's where we're headed next. Alright, so here's where we are now. Where we're going to be working is right up here on this hillside. So I don't know how much I'm going to be able to film, but yeah, there's some gypsum crystals and petrified wood buried in there. So we're going to go find some of that. Let's go. So here in these washes, where it concentrates all these gravels and stuff, where I usually find the gypsum crystals and petrified wood that I find out here.
First piece of the day. Piece of petrified wood. Just laying out here on the surface. Nice.
That's a nice one.
Yeah. There's something rotten out of it.
Found a nice stick, I think. Oh yeah, that's a pretty one.
Ooh, nice.
A nice little stick there.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
It's a nice piece of petrified wood.
Yeah.
Nice. Good find.
Thanks.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it looks like
It's
driftwood.
One of the better pieces that we found out here.
Yeah. That's a pretty one.
Yeah, it is.
Nice stick. That'll be something pretty.
Uh-huh.
Alright, we made it over to the spot where I find the most. Let's see, I got that far from the truck. Some cows kind of watching us.
A little bit further in front of us here.
Yeah.
When we're finding the majority of it.
I'll just leave the camera rolling because I'm sure I'll start coming up with some crystals here pretty soon. These rocks are so neat. These are pieces of jasper. They're very pretty.
That big old cricket.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ooh, it is warm out here. Imagine that. Hot sunny day in the desert.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's a solid hunk.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. There you go. That, kids, is what gypsum looks like. This is also known as desert rose. Well, here is some more of those. They're like sitting, these are just on the surface. They're just kind of all over the place out here. It's all up here. And pretty soon we're going to be getting into some really big clusters of them. All right, here's pretty much a perfect specimen of what we're looking for. You see how the crystal structure kind of looks like petals, which is where it gets its nickname, Desert Rose. Isn't that pretty? That's beautiful. That's a keeper.
I just picked up this piece of petrified wood here. It's got some real neat markings in it. Looks like it might have been part of like a knot or a stump maybe.
That one's cool.
Yeah, it's all kinds of
That's got a lot of character
to it.
Yeah. I put a wire tree on that one.
Yeah. I'll keep looking. This has some really dark color to it too. Look at that. Dark brown color in it.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's some
branch.
pieces that were like burnt.
Yeah?
Yeah. They're not very common, but I found a few of them that definitely look like they were burnt or something. But, you know, it'd just be staining from the different kinds of agates.
Right.
You see, it's where we're at now, it's just all over the place. All these little spots that you see like this are just little chips. But right now we're looking for some bigger pieces that have extra character because, well, we're idiots and we didn't bring anything to carry anything with or to dig with. So, yeah, so we're kind of limited to what we can carry in our hands. So we're just going to concentrate on bigger pieces. Yeah, that's a decent sized piece.
It's got some pockets in it.
Oh yeah, that's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll look real nice, all cleaned up.
Yeah. Look at that. Oh my gosh. You didn't even know that was petrified wood. If you didn't know, it just looks like a regular old piece of wood. Would you freaking focus? Come on. Definitely get... when we get home, we're going to clean these up and there we go. Definitely get some better shots of them. That's a pretty one. I found a couple of these really neat pieces of gypsum. Look at that guy. I have these columned, these crystal columns. That's cool. Another one. Yeah, it reminds me of like a little ice castle that might be. Or like the inside of a cave. Those are pretty. And as you can see, some of these crystal clusters just get massive. They're huge. I see that one all cleaned up.
Another nice piece.
Cody found another nice piece of petrified wood. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh, wow. I love like the bleached driftwood ones.
Uh-huh. I've just found this and picked it up and handed it to me. Look at the character on that thing. Look at that. It's like smooth as can be almost. Almost looks like a bone. More than wood, but it is wood.
You can see there's a spot where a branch was growing out of there.
Yep.
And there's a little knot right there.
Yeah. Right here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's really neat. Good find.
Thanks. And it just came on these really, really big crystals. Look at those. Yeah, some like big individual gypsum crystals. Unfortunately, these gypsum crystals don't serve a lot of practical purpose as far as like lapidary work because they're just so delicate. They have Mohs hardness scale probably I don't know, like 3 or 4. I mean, they're very soft. So they're too delicate to really cut into like a cabochon or anything like that. And I'll see if I can do a wire wrap on them, but I will find some other. They do have other artistic, decorative uses and some industrial uses as well.
Hey, check it out, baby girl. A beautiful bouquet of flowers for my beautiful wife.
Aw, those are pretty. We say that we're cut off, but see what happens?
It's a big piece.
Cody's makeshift bag is gonna
Hopefully not rip.
hopefully not rip.
This is a good shirt. One of my favorites.
Was a good shirt.
Huh?
Was a good shirt.
It still is. It's fine.
It's gonna be a little lumpy now.
You can carry it though.
Come on. Didn't even make that much of a difference.
No, probably not.
I am gonna keep my eye in the creek bank because I have found some pretty decent pieces.
Yeah, there's one right here.
What? What are you saying ow for?
It's none of your business.
Okay.
Something poked me.
Oh, that's good.
Just don't you worry about it.
Okay. I didn't know I was touching the subject. We're almost there. Just a little bit further.
Yeah.
I don't know how we've never stumbled across a body. As much time as we spend out in the desert and the woods. I mean, we hike all the time.
Uh-huh.
It's always the people that find it.
Some random hiker.
Yeah. A homeless person who goes swimming.
Nah. That water looks pretty gross.
The water does look pretty gross. That water's got some life to it. Where?
Right over here. Running through. Oh no, that's a bird.
Oh. Squirrel bird.
Yep.
There is a giant butt in the rocks. A sneak peek at our haul of rocks. And I get home and get them cleaned up. And yeah, take some pretty shots of them. And a pretty good haul today. Alright, I'm going to talk briefly about how these things are formed, starting with the gypsum. As mentioned in a lot of our previous videos, the majority of southern Idaho used to be covered in an ancient lake. This was all underwater at some point, and when the sudden lake started to inevitably dry up because it's a desert, there were things suspended in the water or dissolved into the water, and as gypsum is water soluble. So this was dissolved into the water, And here, where it's formed kind of a bowl, there's an isolated area of water where things like this were more concentrated, known as a brine. And when it evaporated, the water evaporated up, and this stuff did not evaporate with it, and it just kept building until it made these very interesting crystals. Okay, and as for the petrified wood, what happened with that is there was at some point a bunch of living trees out here, and when that flood came through, it covered them in this stuff here. Is like a clay type stuff, which didn't allow any oxygen in, which slowed down the decomposition process. And when they did start to very slowly decompose the empty cells, the area inside the empty cells, because, trees have cells, kind of like humans, the inside of that stuff was replaced with something called silica, which is what makes up quartz, agate, jasper, and a lot of our other favorite kind of gems and minerals. So, yeah. And it hardens into agate and just maintains the appearance of the wood and turns it to petrified wood. It's not really wood anymore. It's technically agatized wood, and some's a lot more agatey than others, and it can also turn into opal rather than agate, or jasper instead of agate. So, yeah, that is some interesting facts, or maybe not so interesting facts about gypsum and petrified wood. So I've been calling these gypsum crystals, and I'm pretty sure that they are based on the research that I've done. But somebody told me that they are calcite, and I'm really not sure. But there is an easy test I can do to find out, because calcium, calcite is very basic, so it'll react to a acid. So, such as vinegar. So if I dump vinegar on it and it kind of reacts, fizzes like would like baking soda, then it's likely calcium. But if it does not react, then it's probably gypsum, because gypsum is neutral. So, yeah. Yeah, it's not going to be like a real, there's no reaction.
Nope, there's nothing.
It wouldn't be like a violent reaction
but it would definitely
making soda, but it would definitely be at least making like some bubbles. I'm pretty sure that bubble that came up was just trapped in here as an air pocket. It doesn't seem to be, but we'll let that sit there for a little bit, and if it does anything, I'll let you know, and otherwise, I think I was probably right about what this was. So, yep. So here is a piece that we found that we initially thought was petrified wood because of the rings, but as you can see, it's got host rock, like quartz host rock around it. I'm pretty sure this is like a picture jasper. So I'm gonna have my friends Statler and Waldorf cut me a couple slabs off of this, and at at some different angles, you know. Can't really see it from this angle, but you can see the banding and the different colors and rings. It's got the right colors to it. So maybe if it's cut like across this way, it'll have like a different kind of design. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Here is a really good example of what the Hawaii picture jaspers can look like. You can see they kind of have like desert sunset scenes in them. They're really cool. This is one of those crystal clusters, and it's got something in it. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. It's got something in it. It looks like these grew around and I like broke it, and I'm pretty sure it's like a pine cone. It's hard to kind of get on camera. It's kind of falling apart like a rock. It is like stone, but it definitely looks more like it like formed around it. I was just trying to get it cleaned up. I didn't know what was in there. So, yep, that's pretty interesting. As always. As always, thank you for joining us on another adventure, and we will see you next time.
Yep, happy treasure hunt.
Bye.
Bye.